All right, well, Stu, cheers for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
No worry. Yes.
How's the day been so far overall then?
Yeah, it's been all right.
Real
It's
life
been
stuff.
okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no better, no worse.
Sometimes that's all you can hope for, that it's perfectly
Yeah.
okay, and that's good enough. Then, 3 months in to 2023, we're 3 months in. How's the year so far then, do you think, overall been treating you all as a group, Goat Monsoon as a group so far?
It's not too bad. We could do with some more gigs, definitely. Because this time last year we had pretty much all our year set out.
Okay.
With gigs, and we played quite a lot of shows last year. We travelled up and down the country, and that kept us busy. This year we don't seem to have so many, but hopefully we can work on that. So just been promoting the new single, really, doing the video and stuff.
What's stopping the gigs, do you think? Is it a combination? Is it just a combination of your time, lack of availability?
I don't know. I really don't. We were all over the place last year.
Hmm.
Perhaps people just think we suck. I don't know. We have got some. I mean, it's not looking all bad, but yeah, we need to get on it. But it's kind of like, in my mind, we've still come out of Christmas and it's still kind of winter and no one's really, sort of doing anything. But yeah.
I
I
do
mean, we
wonder.
had a couple of practices so far this year, I think, maybe.
Okay. I do wonder if it's kind of the tentative last year, as we were kind of getting back to some form of normality, and it was very tentative. There was still a lot of delays and suspensions and push on of shows and so on.
Yeah.
This year, so far, it seems like, well, I can't think of a single day when there isn't. I look, if I'm in London and I walk past X amount of venues in Camden, Underworld, Electric Ballroom, and so on, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they're playing there tonight. Oh, they're playing there tonight, and it seems like it's all just catch up time.
Yeah, maybe there's kind of bit of oversaturation and people can't sort of get a foot in. I don't really know, but we were so busy last year that towards the end of last year we kind of got a bit burnt out. But
So you've
but
but
you
you've
know,
had your
it's
recovery time now, and now you just
yeah.
want to get
Yeah,
more.
so we're waiting for the next bit. So I've been hot on the promotion thing for the single and the video, and we've been played a lot on radio and stuff like that. So just sorting that out.
Yeah, that is the major thing, isn't it? Living Hell, it's the brand new single out now, but with a video as well
Yeah.
available too, which is always a lovely, lovely, appreciated touch. Talk to me then about this track and basically what you were going for here musically. We'll talk about the video in a minute itself, but the actual song.
Um, it's kind of one of Charlie's, really. Um, I think we're kind of going a bit gnarlier at the moment. In a good way, but I think most of the riffs are hers, and we just kind of wanted to get back into sounding how we sound when we play live.
Right.
And even though we were all dead proud of the Alpha Kings EP, not sure it was a exact representation of what we're like as a band. So we kind of wanted a kind of dirtier kind of sound to it, and we recorded some stuff in the summer with Dave from the band Horse Called War, and he's got it right. The mixes he's been sending us have been great, so they're kind of slowly coming through, and so it'll be another EP release, but it's kind of a louder, nastier Goat Monsoon kind of thing. It's
That's fascinating that you sort of that's how you think of it, because when I think of Alpha Kings, but I tend to now think of the recordings from Bloodstock, obviously when you played there. Do you think that's a better reflection, the live Bloodstock of Alpha Kings, than perhaps the actual EP itself?
I think with the EP, it was nice to get the songs down and get a nice clear representation of those songs. But I think we realised that kind of playing to click tracks and having stuff sort of squeezed in and squeezed out and all that kind of thing probably wasn't for us. So we kind of did a bit more of a live kind of recording this time, and I mean my bass parts were all done in one take, which I'm
Okay.
quite happy with. And Dave said to me when it came to perhaps redoing my bass, he said, "Are you happy with them?" I went, "Well, I can't really play it any better. It would either just be the same or whatever, you know." And he went, "Correct answer." So,
Oh.
so we were quite happy. So me and Lou's you know, his drum parts and my bass parts were done quite quickly. Then it was just kind of like the guitar overdubs and stuff, and a lot of Mike's vocals. He really, you know, he really pushed the boat out on those. There's some phenomenal stuff going on. So yeah, we've got a couple more tracks that need mixing, and then we'll be sort of promoting new EP.
I'm glad you brought it up then, because I was going to ask about bigger picture for Goat Monsoon at the moment, because of course it's not just Living Hell. That's the most recent, you know, with Pills only a few months ago as well. So the bigger picture is an EP. Have you got an idea or a rough plan for when that might see the light of day?
No, Dave's taking his time over it, but we don't mind because he's doing some really good work and he's a busy man. So you know, it's all good.
Will there be will there be another single before the full EP?
No, probably not actually, because with the kind of amount of tracks on the EP, people would have heard it before it comes out, basically. So we just thought 2 singles because we are happy with the mixes. And yeah, and you know, they're doing all right. I mean, it's only been a week since the singles, so.
Yeah, that's the next question then, really. Looking at the reaction to Living Hell first in particular, how have you found it? Not just on a sort of critical review aspect, but the people that listen to Goat Monsoon.
I think it's probably surprised a few people with kind of how in your face it is. And it's probably a bit of a kind of nastier sounding vibe. I mean, the Alpha Kings EP was pretty angry anyway, and this still has that, but it's kind of got a bit of an earthier kind of sound to it. And I'm dead happy, particularly with how my bass sounds on it, which is probably the most important aspect of it anyway. But you know.
Of course, on a totally personal thing, yeah.
Because I've finally found a bass sound that I really like, and it's taken me a long time, but I've found a sound that I'm really happy with, and there's a couple of reasons that I have that sound as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Because put that with Pills, it seems like this now, the combination Living Hell Pills, is a great encapsulation, I guess, of where Goat Monsoon is right now musically. Then,
yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, there's a few kind of so a few different elements to this. We've got a kind of bluesier track that we're kind of waiting on. We've re-recorded an older track, and you know, Pills obviously had that really kind of doomy end section, which you know, it's, I don't know, it's just kind of more, it's more us. I think the sound, certainly a representation of what we sound like live, definitely. But yeah,
can't wait to hear it. Look forward to that. You know, yeah, Dave, hurry up, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's a lovely chap, so it's all good.
Yes. So we're considering how happy you are with his work, then that's fantastic to hear. The video for Living Hell, you've got a mix here of live footage, bit of studio, a mixture of disturbing images from film, some more obvious than others. Talk to me about the inspiration behind the creation of this video.
I think what I was getting from Mike, he did the Pills video, and the kind of deal with the Pills video was it was kind of all forms of addiction, whether it's good or bad, it's all the same kind of thing. So there was lots of stuff in there. He did the video for that. There were a couple of bits that we weren't quite sure of, so I took over a few of the editing bits. And once I realized I actually had the software at home to do a video, I said to Mike, the Living Hell video, I'm going to do it. And he kind of gave me an outline. It's kind of based on kind of abusive relationships and that kind of thing. But to kind of make the video a bit more palatable, I kind of put all kinds of stuff in there. You know, I didn't want to be too specific on genders and stuff like that. So there's a lot of the stuff is just people going through shit, basically. So and obviously I love me horror movies. So as much, you know, what I found was fitting, you know, I kind of bunged it all in. But on reviewing some of the footage, there was a sequence, I think it's a rehearsal sequence, where Charlie looks at the camera at least a couple of times. So I thought, I really want the sequence in there, but I don't know what to do about that. So I thought, I know. Every time Carrie looks at someone and kind of does a bit of telekinesis, something happens. I'll splice a couple of bits in there. So that's why the Carrie bits are in there. And obviously I had to go back in the video and just put a couple more bits in. But there's some Coffin Joe in there. There's a Salvador Dali movie in there. I don't know what the pig thing is. That was kind of interesting.
Oh, see,
I'm not sure where it's from.
Yeah, I was hoping, because, you know, I'm watching that, and the same actually goes with Pills. In Pills, you know, the fact that there's a segment, a short segment from the 80s movie Nasty Possession. I was like, oh wow, that's there as well. So like it's almost a game to try and work out what it was. But with
there's a
Living
reason
Hell, I
Possession was in
struggled.
Pills, actually. The reason why it's in there is because Isabella Arjani's kind of freaking out in the subway just basically fit the tempo of the song. And that was kind of why. And also, it's a film that not many people know. And because it covers so many kind of dynamic relationship topics, it was a good one for Living Hell as well, because you've got her and Sam Neill both abusing the hell out of each other all the way through the film. So it was nice to take some bits there, and not everyone's going to know the film. So I thought, if I get done for copyright, I'd rather it was an obscure kind of foreign movie, you know.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that, particularly when you were, you know, splicing in shots to say Carrie, for example, and elements like that. Did you have much trouble with copyright when it came to putting this out there?
The only trouble I had with putting it on YouTube is we got a copyright claim for the music.
Oh,
yeah, which I wasn't expecting. But that's okay. It's basically the distribution that we use to get the singles out.
Right.
Kind of from that. I had the same problem when I did the Bloodstock stuff, that the distributor had the copyright to the music. They don't, but it's just a kind of internet issue that we need to sort out. But with the film stuff, apparently if you only use a few seconds, it's okay.
Yeah, that seems to be the trick. Yeah, a sort of short splice scene of maybe 4 to 5 seconds. Don't push it too much, and you might be okay for the most part. Yeah, it's YouTube, but you know, you can get copyright claim for anything. So congratulations that it was yourself, your distributor, effectively was the only issue.
Yeah.
So considering, right, so Pills, Living Hell, or what's coming in the future, I then have to ask, you talk about, okay, you want to sound like you do live, but what's been inspiring Goat Monsoon as of late to kind of put out this specific style of music, whether it be Pills and the Addiction, the experience of Living Hells with Living Hell?
I don't know. I think in a way we're still kind of finding out where we fit in the grand scheme of stuff.
Okay.
And I think we still surprise people live as well. I think people think we're one sort of band, and we usually end up being something different that they weren't expecting. So we're possibly more up tempo than most people think, which surprises people. But I think kind of after the whole Alpha Kings thing, which was a pretty metal kind of sounding kind of EP, yeah, we just want to bring it down a bit, I think, just make it nasty. And when you're sort of trying to achieve stuff like all the gigs, certain things start getting at you that you want to kind of put into the music. And, you know, perhaps we're more weary, I don't know. And perhaps that's being reflected, you know.
Okay. I wonder, You guys are considered an important part of the Essex scene in general, as well as known around the country too. It's not like it's specifically Essex, or that's where you're based, and obviously that's where you play probably the most of your shows, I think. But across the country, thanks to previous shows and tours, you are well known. But expanding and getting out a bit further is one of the hardest things to do. What
Yeah.
do you think you guys need to do to do that, basically?
It's kind of the thing with the more you play, the more you get to play.
Right.
And even though we had a lot of gigs last year, they were still quite spaced out.
Mm,
I mean, we did some cracking stuff last year. We supported Nebula,
yeah.
and that was a hometown gig, and that was one of the few gigs that we actually got paid for. So not only did we get to play with Nebula, but we got a stack of cash for that, which was quite nice. But we did some good stuff. We played in Cannock last year, and our support act was Rob, who plays with the Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really cool guy. We did like Stoke-on-Trent, and Bolton was one of the last ones.
Oh, awesome.
But we'd really like to crack the kind of London thing. We've only done a couple of London shows, but a lot of the kind of sludgier, doomier bands, they're all Midlands and up north. And obviously being stuck down here, that makes it difficult for us to get to a lot of places. But yeah, we did a bit of it last year, and it was good fun. Everybody was totally knackered by the end of the year, but it was good.
It was worth it.
Yeah, I think so. Is it getting the band out there, and yeah, there were some good shows. Not all of them were what we're expecting, but it's never a horrible thing to do, is go out and play live,
Everyone wants everyone wants their band to be able to fit on any particular bill, because obviously that would allow you more opportunity for gigs and so on. Do you feel like that's something that Goat Monsoon can do? I kind of get the impression, and I've got the view on you guys, that you can fit in a lot of different bills. You don't have to be sort of sectioned off into a sludgy, groovy stoner sound only, and that's where you belong, and that's the only place you can go.
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel like you can sort of
I
get on other
think
bills?
we can cover lots of stuff, but I'm finding that promoters probably aren't willing to take that gamble.
Okay.
Seems to be the case at the moment. I get a lot of people saying "we'll see" to me.
Right. Fair enough. Right. Moving on from that then, sticking with the promotion and pushing Goat Monsoon out. It's not just, obviously live is so important. The more places you play, the more ears hear, the more eyes see you, and the more words are spread about you. But of course, online as well. Probably the most difficult area, I think, to promote these days, because everybody and their brother and sister are trying to share the same space. Where's your shortcomings, in your opinion, when it comes to being online and pushing yourself out there?
It's probably being an older age group for a band.
Okay.
Maybe. A lot of the kind of younger bands probably know how to do stuff more. A lot of the time when I get home, I usually just want a cup of tea and go, and go to bed. But and I'm finding a lot of the stuff. I mean, we should be on TikTok, we should be on, but all that stuff is a bit beyond me. And I'm not getting any younger, and I'm getting less patient with trying to sort stuff out. Facebook's become a nightmare for trying to do anything.
Yeah.
Meta Business Suite, what's that all about?
Isn't it fun to navigate that?
No, what I was thinking of doing, this probably wouldn't go down very well. Is it Zuckerberg who owns Facebook?
It is, yeah.
I was thinking of sending a message saying that I've held his entire family hostage and I need a ransom demand. And right at the end, I put reply on Meta Business Suite and go, see how you like it.
And there's your 30-day ban, and probably that's going to start in the next 5 minutes, because we're being listened into right now.
Totally, yeah. In fact, we'll probably get cut off because he probably owns everything. And
yeah, I don't know who. Actually, I don't know who owns Zoom. I presume it's going to be one of the big ones, probably.
Yeah, it's probably Google or something. But oh, there you go. But
No,
yeah,
I understand. It's always an interesting question to get a wide array of views about when it comes to social media. No, we don't speak to anyone who can, unless they're already in social media, e.g., a social media management manager or someone like that.
yeah,
Everybody says the same thing. It's not even about age anymore. It's either the frustration that comes with trying to manage it and get your voice out there, or it's just the
yeah.
ever-changing algorithm.
Oh yeah, I
More
was
than
looking at the video kind of statistics for Living Hell, even though it's done very well on kind of YouTube and on Facebook
Mm,
and stuff, and it will say how many views you've got of the video, and when you actually go deeper into the statistics of it, it gets more depressing the more you look,
yes.
because it will say that basically that many people may have viewed it, but they buggered off like halfway through, and you kind of go, oh, okay. So just trying to get people to sit down and just watch 3 minutes of a video is getting very difficult. And that's how it fits in with the whole TikTok kind of thing, which I don't understand.
Yeah, it's attention spans. We know this, it's no secret. We're not saying anything particularly profound here or criticizing any particular person that maybe doesn't want to sit and watch, I don't know, a 15-minute track or whatever. I completely understand that thing, but the TikTok generation and whatever it is, I have no idea. I've never used TikTok, and I don't plan to at any time soon. But is it 30 seconds? 30 seconds
Yeah,
max or something like
yeah.
that?
So with the Living Hell video, I really tried at certain points just to put something in there that's going to make people go, "What the fuck?" It's like, dancing pigs and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah,
What about the streaming side of things? Are you keeping an eye on that?
I think so.
You think so, yeah?
Yeah, we kind of put stuff out, and the distribution people hopefully hit the right places. But it's, I mean, do I want to spend my time making sure that we're signed up to everything that goes on?
Mm.
I don't know, just kind of trusting it really that it's hitting all the right places. But
Well, that's it. I
mm,
mean, you're passionate about Goat Monsoon. You've released Pills, you've released Living Hell, and these are great, great tracks with really, really watchable videos as well. But of course, you have a life.
cheap videos, they're very cheap. In
That
fact,
is a big thing, yes.
the Living Hell video cost roughly nothing.
Really?
Yeah, it's basically we
Yeah,
did some
okay.
live shows, and a mate of ours, a guy called Gary, who supports the music scene like nobody else. I mean, this guy is kind of a gig machine,
Hmm.
and he filmed a lot of the gigs. So, and I know he doesn't mind me using the footage. So once I was able to get the footage in sync, that was cool. And just stick some bits in there. Obviously, get that off of YouTube. Got all the programs to do that, so it costs nothing. We might do a proper video one day. Who knows?
It's a really, if costing nothing, it is a well done video.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
So we've established what the rough plan for 2023 is. The work towards the EP release, hopefully more live shows amongst what you've already got. But then, what's an achievable goal you would like to reach before this year ends?
Oh God, I'd love another festival appearance. That would
Ooh.
be really cool.
Mm.
Um, I think at the moment we're just really cool with just people wanting to see us. So just promoters saying, "Oh, do you want to do this and come down to here?" We still like that. It's not really about doing big stuff. It's kind of we just like playing, and not every gig is worth it in terms of
Of
either
course.
money or audience, but it's never a horrible thing to have to go out and play music. That's always fun. you know some bits of it can be frustrating, but we always love that part of it, and
Mm.
we have a great time just getting to the places and sitting in the backs of vans and stuff like that. So maybe nothing big, but we got a few things coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could pick any festival in the UK that's happening this year to be on this year, what one would you like to do?
I have just submitted a thing to download,
Okay.
So we'll
Hell yeah.
see how that goes. Obviously, we'd love to be asked back to Bloodstock, but we shall see. We are actually doing a festival this year anyway. It's in Bury St Edmunds.
Are
but
you?
But it should be really good because there's loads
Okay.
of great bands on it. So.
Oh, fantastic. I think it's safe to say, as we kind of already touched upon, Download, Bloodstock, Tech Fest, Damnation.
Yeah,
You can
we'll
any of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of it. Yeah. If I can get the time off work, then we can do all of it.
If you end up at Download, you will get the time off work.
Yeah. I'd love to do Download, and that's the thing with the band. We're all working. All the band, apart from myself, all have families and stuff. So it's just kind of trying to fit stuff in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations of being a modern band in the scene, trying to make it. You're not alone there, and people watching, listening to Goat Monsoon, do what you can to make sure that they can afford to live and get out there and play in your local towns, basically. Right,
Stu, and I hit 50 this year as well, so I'd quite like to just get through the year just without keeling over. That would be nice.
50 is the new whatever it is these days. 50 is the new 30. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we hit this part of the interview now where we have a quick fire round. Well, we call it a quick fire round only, but it's not really that quick. You can take as long as you want to answer and go into detail as much as you want. But basically, it's 10 questions pulled, taken from a pool of about 500. They are randomly selected for your specific interview. They can be absurdly silly, nonsensical, or very, very serious. These are your 10. So you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, number 1, have you ever experienced something in your life that's unexplainable?
No.
Wow. This one, we've had others, this one's come on other people, and almost everybody goes, well, yeah, and always has something. So there's an outright no. You've always been able to explain it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in kind of spiritual kind of things. Yeah, if it happened, it happened, and there's a reason for it happening.
I love it. Straightforward. All right, what's your worst habit?
Oh god, talk too much.
Okay.
I'm too nice as well.
People would say maybe that's not a bad habit though.
Oh, I don't know.
Being nice and talking too much, I don't really see them as bad habits. I see them as
It can be.
Okay. Living or dead, who is a filmmaker that you would love to share a drink with? Pick their brains, basically.
Oh god. George Romero, possibly. Yeah, obviously being big into the horror, there's probably loads. The dude who was Coffin Joe, Jose Marins. Yeah, just something like that.
Why him?
Because when I first saw his movies, I mean, there's some of his stuff in the Living Hell video. Some of that's a Coffin Joe movie. They're Brazilian films, and I don't know how familiar you are with the Coffin Joe stuff, but there's literally every film that he's made, there'll be something in it which will just leave you just open-mouthed and just like, oh my god, wow, really? And coming from kind of Brazil and stuff like that, which a lot of the films he did, they were under military rule and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the balls of the guy to do a lot of some of his movies. I haven't seen a film that literally hasn't made me go,
oh really?
No way. He's got a film where somebody has an operation, so he basically got some footage of an operation he had and he stuck it in the film, and it's totally unwatchable because it's horrible, but just for the fact that he does stuff like that, it's really extreme. even for kind of movies from the 60s and stuff.
That's incredible.
And obviously,
Okay.
George Romero is as given because, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that one doesn't need as much explanation. Most people should know. Yes. Okay. If you, this is easy. I think I can answer this for you. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
It's Sweet from the City Show.
Oh, right. Okay. All
Or
right. I
Zippy.
should have. Okay. Yes. I realize now that actually is the correct answer because I'm like, well, obviously it's going to be a goat, but no, obviously it is.
No, it's Sweet. Sweet or Zippy. I mean, he's not really an animal. He's kind of an egg thing, but you know, both apply.
Do you want to elaborate on that in any way?
Nah, not really.
What is an overrated album in your opinion?
Nirvana, Nevermind. Yeah.
Shout. Oh my
I
goodness.
preferred In Utero as a record. There's nothing particularly wrong with Nevermind. I kind of got fed up with people telling me that I had to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times I heard it, I was probably really pissed at a party. So every time I hear it, I just think about just feeling like shit, basically.
I feel like once upon a time that might have been controversial, but I feel like there's a lot more people these days, it seems, that do recognize In Utero as being the superior album. It just happens Nevermind is the one that sold a ton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely preferred In Utero.
All right, this next one's perfect for you then. What is the last great horror movie you saw?
Oh, wow. As in new?
Mm-hmm.
A new film or?
It's just the last great horror movie you saw. It can be something that it doesn't necessarily have to be new. It could be just you've never seen it before and now you've seen it and it was great.
Oh, crikey.
Mm.
Oh, yes, I do know, actually.
Okay.
And I've got it right here so I can show you. I'd never heard about this film until it actually came out on Blu-ray.
Okay.
And it's called The Appointment. And it's got Edward Woodward.
All right.
And it's got Jane Marrow. And
Uh-huh.
it is incredibly intense.
The cover the cover looks familiar, but I don't know if that's just because, hey, here's a dog. The lower half, right? I've never seen that before. That's artwork.
It's incredible. I'd never heard a thing about it, and it's kind of, you know, it's an hour and a half of pretty much the most tense. You know, every scene is dragged out to its most, you know, it's
based off that cover. That you don't give it based off that cover. I have a thought in my head, but tell me what's the synopsis of it?
It's it sounds really boring because it sounds kind of like a kitchen sink drama, but it's Edward Woodward.
Yep.
I think it's a job interview that he's going for, and he misses I think his daughter's violin recital because of it. So there's problems at home because of that, and he goes off to the recital. But there's also something else going on that you're not really quite sure of, and every scene is heightened to maximum suspense. There's a bit where he's just sitting in a kind of services, just drinking a cup of coffee, but the scene just lasts so long, and they heighten the conversations around him and everything going on, and it's one of the most unnerving things I've ever seen. And I don't want to give too much away, but there's a car crash at the end, which is so brilliantly filmed and so brilliantly done, but it's also incredibly odd.
Oh,
And
okay.
everything that happens in this film is odd. Even kind of a general kill in a movie is done so weirdly that you just go, I don't even know what happened, and it kind of freaks you out a bit. But when me and my wife watched this for the first time, we were both sitting there kind of like, oh, man, this is the most tense thing I've ever seen.
Right.
So it's that.
Right, on Saturday, this coming Saturday, myself and my wife are planning to just chill out, do nothing, and watch a couple of horror movies. We have one lined up already. I'm going to make that the other one, and I will message you afterwards and tell you if I liked it or not.
Yeah, it's so tense. The entire
Okay.
film. Oh, it's great. Yeah, really loved it. So we'll rewatch that definitely because
Right.
it's good stuff.
Fantastic. All right, this is who has been the most famous person you have met? Now, famous subjective, of course, but in your opinion, the
Yeah.
most famous person you met?
Okay. I've met quite a few famous people because I hang around lots of film people. A
Yeah.
lot of my friends in London are all film people. They all do stuff within film that kind of make them cool dudes to hang with, as well as
Yeah.
lovely people. Graham Humphreys is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, did a Zoom quiz with Graham last night. Graham is probably one of the nicest people ever and an amazing artist. And we've got lots of his stuff in our house, lots of prints. I've actually got an original Graham, which he gave me as a wedding present. Got some original artwork. And I get a real kick out of knowing Graham because the artwork for Nightmare on Elm Street was a big influence back in the day. And now it's kind of come full circle, you know. It's kind of like knowing Graham, he's signed stuff for me, and we see him quite a bit. I've been on holiday with him, you know. It's
Wow.
So I love Graham. I love all my friends in London. They all do really cool stuff. I've got a few stills up here which are signed by people. Probably the most famous one being that one, which is Christopher Lee.
Of course, yes.
Pointing in the right place. I've got the lovely Pauline Pert from Satanic Rites of Dracula, who's a good friend, and
Gunnar Hansen.
yeah, Gunnar Hansen. Ian McCulloch from Zombie Flesh Eaters up there.
Oh, love Ian McCulloch.
Went for a curry with Ian. He used to play in a band, and he was telling me all about that. He was asking about Goat Monsoon and stuff like that.
Amazing.
And, yeah, we get to meet people all the time. We're doing something on Monday. We get to see Robin Asquith from the Confessions films. So we've been really lucky at meeting a lot of the George Romero people. Dawn the Dead, Day of the Dead. Meeting John Amplis from Martin was a big deal. But I would say the most famous is probably Christopher Lee.
I think in general fame, yes. That's the name that everybody knows.
And obviously, me and my wife are good friends with Victoria Price as well, because she did our wedding for us. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, lots of great people.
I'm going to tie this into actually a little bit of a plug as well. Of course, people want to know more about this, know more about your interest in horror, love of horror, and the details can, of course, go and find out more via the Abominable Crypt That Dripped Terror, which is is it Facebook page only?
Yeah. It's all I can manage.
There you go.
Keep up with.
Do go check that page out. It's fascinating. You'll learn a hell of a lot. There are films that come up with there, particularly as a person that didn't grow up watching, say, 70s and 60s, 70s kind of horror, that elements, Hammer and things like that. And now in later life is discovering them. Often I use that page as a great go-to where I need to discover something I've never seen before.
Yeah, cool. There, I did a bit on the appointment, and because I've completely forgotten what it's about, it might be worth just checking that one out. Yeah. My synopsis wasn't great, but
that was good. It's good. What's a hobby that is popular generally and enjoyed by many, but you just don't really get why people are into it?
Okay, this could be controversial. It's football.
I mean, it's probably the most popular hobby in this, well, at least in this country, most of the Western world, actually.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, even though I have been known to wear a West Ham sweatband, and the only reason I wear that is because Steve Harris gave it to me, so it'd be rude not to. People ask me about it, and I'm like, I don't support West Ham.
I feel like that gives you more right to wear that sweatband than a lot of other people who support football teams.
Yeah, it was off his clanking hand as well, so I was well happy. Took it off, gave it to me. Nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, the penultimate one. What was the first ever live music show that you can remember going to?
Yeah, this is going to be weird. I was a kid, and it was a live concert done by the cast of a kids program back in the day, and it was called Animal Crackers. And they were kind of big dressed up kind of animal things, and they did a live show. I think it was in Bournemouth, and I vaguely remember that. It seems like some kind of weird trip or something, but I vaguely remember that.
Oh, have you ever tried to hunt down the see if you can hunt down like the would it live version, so it wasn't taped, it was like a TV show, that thing?
No, it was kind of the people who do the program just kind of did a seaside variety thing, which is kind of weird in itself. I haven't even looked the program up on. I might have to do that now.
Yeah, because you never know. Find out it was taped and see yourself in the audience somewhere.
But obviously, it wasn't a kind of full-on metal show. There was no pits or anything that I can remember. I was in a pram, possibly. This would have been mid to late 70s, maybe. So it's kind of in there, but maybe early 80s. I don't know.
I love that you can even remember that experience. All right, the last one. Can you inspect the horror? Good. Can you think of a horror remake that was superior to the original? And I kind of weight that because I think it's very, very hard to do.
Oh wow. I'm going to get round this question by saying that Hammer's 1958 version of Dracula, I prefer that to Universal's 1930 production of Dracula. I got round it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. It is ultimately, all the Hammer stuff that was reworking on the Universal monsters. It's remakes, of course it is. Absolutely. I think your mind automatically goes to the sort of modern stuff, your nightmares, your Friday the 13th and stuff. But of course, it's good.
But I don't tend to watch anything that goes past like about 88 or something like that, you know.
Then I'm going to throw an additional one out just to kind of, because you've said that now, and I know that's the case. But give me something then. Give me a modern, something, let's say in the last 5 years. 5 years, 10 is too long. 5 years that you think that you've seen and you did actually enjoy or thought was good.
I'm not sure how old it is. But I will get it.
That's 2007 or 2008, I think. That's a while back still.
That's what about Krampus? That's really good.
Oh, what's that? That's like 2016, I think. Maybe even later.
Well,
I think you're okay there.
Can we do that? Can we do that one?
Your Trick or Treat was 2007.
Yeah, Krampus, because we now watch that every Christmas, so that's become a thing. So,
all right, well, it didn't fall in the 5 years, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Krampus is 2015.
Yeah.
No. I won't push you in that. So Trick or Treat. Let's just dominate you, kind of, because I think that's probably popular. It's a bit of a cult following. Not a lot of people know about that movie.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It really is. As far as Halloween style films go, that's all you need, because it's got everything in there. And it does it.
It's decent. It's a good anthology. Anthologies can be hit and miss here and there. And of course, Krampus, I think most people know it's a glossy one, but it is a fun Christmas experience.
The weird thing with Krampus is it should be massive. It should be as big as like Gremlins or something like that. Because, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on in that film. It's really funny. It's really sad. It's kind of, great special effects. People should be watching that all the time, but not a lot of people know it, like Trick or Treat.
Yeah, it's odd that, particularly as well. It stars the likes of Tony Collette, who are fairly big deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or now are, I don't know if they. I'm loving the slaughtered lamb picture. on the wall behind you.
Yeah, that's part of my wife's bar makeup, which is out of shot, but there's a lot more of that stuff. Yes, of course.
And it was such a great thing. We went with my London people. We went to Wales and went to the village where they shoot that, and it was incredible because it was totally deserted because every building is an Airbnb. And we went with Victoria Price. She drove us in a minibus to Wales. We'd just been at Highgate Cemetery, and it's like, what's happening now? Well, we're driving to Wales. Oh, of course we are. So we drove to Wales with my good friends, Peter Fuller, who does all the Vincent Price stuff. And we went to Crickdarn, which is the village in Wales that they shot that. Nobody there. We saw one other person, and she'd not heard of the film. And but we got to recreate some of the scenes. Me and Graham Humphreys doing the kind of bit in the graveyard there. Great fun.
Oh, that is incredible. I love that. I love your passion for that. But I also love your passion for Goat Monsoon as well. Just as a reminder, people, because we have segued into horror, Living Hell out right now. The video on YouTube. Go check this out. If you've not heard of Goat Monsoon, use this opportunity to check them out. Living Hell, recent. Further Back, Pills, of course, Alpha Kings, and what will come out into, well, hopefully in 2023 later on. Yeah. Stu, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?